Welcome to CyclingPhysio.com's coverage of the 2011 Banff Bike Fest. This is the absolute highlight of the season for me. It's a 5-event stage race held over 4 days in beautiful Banff National Park. For this episode, I've decided to do things a little differently and follow the Pro Men's general classification over the course of the event. This is mainly because we have a heavy favorite coming into the race with the Canadian National Road Champion Will Routley in the field. But he's racing as an independent, so let's see how he does racing against some of the strong pro teams like H&R Block and Trek Red Truck. The first event was the Cascade Plaza Prologue, a short steep hill climb event, and while it's only 1,500 meters long, about a third of that climbs at more than 10%. It was the power riders who would prevail that day, with Bailey McKnight taking a 3-second advantage over Will Routley and Justin Kerr into the next stage, the Lake Louise 1A Sprint. You know, when you're in a place as beautiful as the Chateau Lake Louise and it smells like fresh brewed coffee and there's a harpist playing in the background, it's pretty easy to forget what those riders are facing outside today. The weather conditions aren't great. It's about 8 degrees Celsius and it's raining, and they've got to do about an 81-kilometer road race in this. Now the course is, there's definitely rolling hills and some significant climbs, but probably not enough to create a major break in the field. This race is traditionally called the 1A Sprint because I think it favors the sprinters. Now this year the uphill drag to the finish might favor a more powerful rider than just a pure sprinter, but it's definitely going to be interesting to find out. And it was indeed the power riders who prevailed, with Trek Red Truck's Bailey McKnight coming in 1 second ahead of the bunch, claiming top spot over Coulter Young and Paul Tischler. With that first place finish, Bailey would receive a 10-second time bonus, which had him sitting atop the general classification with a 14-second gap over the rest of the field.
All right, well, we're here with the winner of the 1A Sprint. Bailey, can you tell us a little bit about how it all went down?
It was a really rainy start this morning. It was we made a plan with the team to start and executed it perfectly, and Will went with 1K to go, and then my teammate Craig actually the whole team did a great job and dropped me off with about 300 meters to go and sprinted for the line, and it was good. It was good. It was only 80K I think today. So.
Yeah, 81K.
Yeah,
so what was that sprint? I mean, that was an uphill sprint. That must have been a tough one.
Yeah, it's more my style, shorter, punchier stuff, but especially the whole race being only 80K. But
yeah, you guys were able to reel Will back in without too much trouble?
We saw him go, and it was like, oh man, I don't think he's going to come back. And just getting a little bit closer, and then sure enough, with about 100 meters to go, I think I took him on the outside, which is good. It's a good feeling. So
what's it like with a guy like that in the peloton? Is everybody just marking him to death?
It was every time he jumped today, someone was on his wheel, and there's no way he can. We actually raced West Side last week, and same deal. He's by himself. He's trying to do all this stuff by himself, but he's a marked man, and he's got a special jersey for it, and good for him. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm just coming back from a pretty bad crash about 6 weeks ago. I broke a collarbone and collapsed the lung. And
whoa!
So this is the first real stint back, and it's good to be good to be on the top again.
Two wins.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Not bad at all.
Tell us a little bit about your history. How long have you been racing, and where are you from?
I'm from Calgary, actually, so this is kind of like a home race. It's nice to see all my friends and family again. I'm actually living in Victoria, training there. But
great.
I've been racing road bikes for about 3 years now, and have a background in mountain biking, and just loving every minute of it. Victoria's great, and the guys that put on this race here in Banff it's just awesome.
It's a pretty special event, hey?
It's very cool. It's great. We have a 4-man wrecking crew this weekend, so hopefully we'll keep going with how the weekend started. So
great. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Take care.
So the stage was set for the time trial, a beautiful 21-kilometer course with quite a bit of climbing. Will Routley showed his form by putting over 30 seconds between him and his closest rival, Cam McKinnon of H&R Block. That had him firmly atop the general classification by 40 seconds before heading into the evening's main event, the Downtown Criterium.
All right, well, we're here with Michaela Zagazowski, who's the race director of the Banff Bike Fest. Michaela, why don't you just give us a little bit of an idea of how long this event has been going on for?
Sure. This is our 4th year for the Banff National Park Bike Fest, and we seem to be getting bigger every year where you add events and grow, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, it's been 4 years, and we've definitely learned some lessons along the way, and I think it just keeps getting better.
That's awesome. Now, there's some important sort of corporate support that's coming your way. Name maybe a few of the key sponsors.
Absolutely. We have Cascade Plaza. They were the title sponsors of the event last night, the Cascade Plaza Prologue, that short, steep hill climb.
Oh, that was hard.
I know. Short and steep, hey?
That's right.
But we have the Balkan Restaurant. That's coming up with the Criterium race tomorrow and the Little Crits.
Awesome.
And we have a number of other events. Banff Lodging Company, they sponsor, the events team, the housing for the events team. And yeah, we've got a number of sponsors throughout Banff National Park that are incredibly supportive of this event and that we couldn't do it without their support.
Not just the corporate support, but there is quite a few volunteers as well. How many volunteers do you guys enroll in a weekend like this?
Oh, absolutely. You know, over the course of 4 days, so we have 5 events over 4 days, so we move from different locations. We probably have about 130 volunteers come out. We have everybody from commissaire drivers to flag marshals to people at feed zones. So really, this event, it would not be possible without the support of volunteers. So it's incredible that, when people come out when it's raining like this or when it's even hot and sunny, it's awesome that we have these people that we can count on.
Yeah. From a racer standpoint, it is so cool to be part of a race that has this sort of professional air. I always tell people it's like a weekend to make believe. It's like I'm the real deal. I'm a pro. There's spectators. There's volunteers. There's a really well funded, well put on race. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Well, the Criterium's the best tomorrow for spectators. So come on out.
Yeah, absolutely the best thing ever. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. And the Criterium was indeed the highlight of the event for the spectators, as an unbelievable race unfolded with Paul Tischler and Aaron Schooler pulling away from the entire field for the 2nd year in a row. While Aaron Schooler of H&R Block eventually came away with the win and a 2nd place spot in the overall standings, Will Routley still had a 45-second advantage over most of the field heading into the Tunnel Mountain Circuit race. All right, well, I'm here with Mike Godfrey, who has become the unofficial Phil Liggett of, or more like the official Phil Liggett of the Alberta bike racing scene. So give us a little bit of an idea. How long have you been announcing races semi-professionally?
Well, semi-professionally, probably about 3 years now. Started at the Bonus Crit, which love the race, don't like doing that particular course. And I joined up with Dallas Morris, just kind of an impromptu thing. We had a fantastic time, and it's just kind of carried on from then. And it's a good excuse for me to be able to go, I can't race the crit because I have to help out with the announcing.
That's right. Perfect. Well, give us an idea what went down today in the invited men's race.
Oh, I tell you, it was a fabulous race. It had the normal kind of situation where it starts off and, there's a little bit of jockeying for positions and guys trying to establish a break. And probably about a third of the way in, we got a break that was established without really any danger guys in there, and there's about 4 of them. That worked for a while, and then Team Garneau was able to get David Stevens, who was sitting 6th overall, just a minute 10 back of race leader Will Routley. He managed to get into that break, and they started working hard, cooperating together, working hard, and they eventually got the lead out to a minute 45, which gave him the virtual race lead of about 35 seconds on the road. And the race kind of stabilized like that for a while, and then little bit by little bit, sure enough, Will Routley goes, hey, wait a sec, nobody's going to help me here. He went to the front and just drilled it for about 4 laps. And little bit by little bit, that gap came together. And then once you could see the writing on the wall, that group starts breaking down. Nobody's working. They're going, hey, David, if you want to move up, it's on you. That whole thing. Eventually, it all came together, and we ended up with a sprint finish. Justin Kerr from H&R Block took the sprint out ahead of Will Routley. So Will had his GC protected. Justin moved up into 2nd overall. It was just a fantastic race.
To have Will Routley take it, definitely the favorite going in, but he had to. It sounds like he had to do the work. He had to,
absolutely.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't a gift, that's for sure.
Well, no, he was racing against some strong teams. He was here racing as an independent, and he had some strong teams between Red Trek. You had Garneau. You had H&R Block. Always a force. They had a great weekend of racing as well. They won the road race. They won the crit. Aaron Schooler, 2 times dominating the field.
Unbelievable last night. Yeah.
Incredible. So great weekend of racing.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael.
You bet.